everyone. You're welcome back to Immigrant Voices and Victories, where, we connect, we learn, and we inspire one another. And I'm so excited today because I've got a wonderful guest in the house, all the way from Ghana. And I'm so excited that she's here on Immigrant Voices and Victories to share her wonderful journey to the UK. For all those of you that have been asking me questions about global talent, is it for only those in the UK? This is a story that's going to inspire you because, she sat in the comfort of her home in Ghana and made her application, and then she moved to the UK. That's to tell you that the global talent visa is for everyone. And that's what we're going to be sharing today. So don't miss any bit of this interview. You're welcome, Maame Yaa.
You've done well, thank you.
Yes, I've been rehearsing that name for so many days now. So forgive me.
You've done well.
Yeah.
Maame.
Afra. Afra is my first Ghanaian friend. She did teach me all these things. She's in Canada now. Yeah. All right. So you're welcome back to our YouTube channel. If you've not subscribed, kindly do like this video and share. And welcome back to our wonderful subscribers. So, how it goes on Immigrant Voices and Victories. We love to do icebreakers because it just helps us check our guests a little bit and know a bit more about them. So we've got questions 1 to 45. Can you kindly choose a question?
Okay, 28.
What's something you've never learned to do?
How to braid my own hair. So I'm trying to, I'm trying to do that. Yeah.
I just wing it and I think I'm doing well.
Oh, you did this?
No.
It's
not that serious. This hair was actually made by my Ghanaian stylist, actually. Nana, she made this hair. Nana is a very wonderful person. Yeah.
I think you are surrounded by Ghanaians, though.
Yes, I am. Okay. So shout out to Nana. She made this wonderful hair. Can we go for another question?
34.
What's something you do to relieve anger or stress?
Okay, when I'm angry, maybe I'd want to sleep. But then when I'm very stressed, I want to listen to country music. My dad loves listening to country music. We all grew up listening to country music. So I really love country music a lot. So when I'm very stressed, that's what I do.
What's your favorite country music?
Oh, Kenny Rogers.
Oh. So can you tell us about yourself? We would like to know you more.
Well, Maame Yaa, my name is Maame Yaa. I'm from Ghana. I'm married. I relocated to the UK last year via the Global Talent Visa fashion category. I'm a fashion designer. I was a fashion designer in Ghana and I'm still doing it here, even though it's not like the way it was in Ghana, but then I'm still in the business. Yeah. So that's basically about it.
So if you're a fashion designer out there, you can outrightly move to the UK as a global talent. So can you share your story of how you of your journey, basically, from Ghana to UK? What inspired you?
Hey, as for the inspiration there, I didn't know how to start it, but things were very tough in Ghana. When I started my fashion business, it was really booming, I was really getting a lot of money. Like I had my workers, my own shop and stuff like that. I wouldn't want to say COVID, but then it was COVID. Okay, even though the business was okay, but I got to a point where your own customers were now actually also going to fashion school. So sometimes it can take a while, and then you'll be like, oh, let me call this customer and then find out how she's doing. When you call them, she'll be like, oh, I'm also sewing now. I just finished my fashion course. I'm like, oh my God. I had about 10 or 5 of my clients who actually went to fashion school and were doing their own thing. So it got to a point, business was very slow, customers were not coming, that kind of thing. And COVID also hit. I had to close the shop and they were actually sewing inside. So I only had, after that time, I had about 3 workers, but because of COVID, I got rid of them and I was only left with 1. So I was working with just her. And then later, things were just that bad. Business was not going on anymore. Everything was very slow. until I heard about global. In fact, before I even heard about global talent visa, I had wanted to come here as a student. And then, no, before that, I think I wanted to come here as a care assistant. I did everything I could. I did a lot of course, even though I wasn't a care assistant. I mean, I don't have anything to do with the health sector, but that was how desperate I was at that time. So I did a lot of healthcare courses to enable me travel here, because I heard that if you really want to come here to practice as a healthcare assistant, you have to do, I think, those 15 care courses and stuff like that. So I did all of that. And then later I heard about IELTS or something. I'm like, oh my God, this is too much. Even though I was still doing it though. Trying to do all of these things. And then later on I heard about the school too. I'm like, well, let me try that one as well. I went to pay somebody to find a school for me here. And then that's a long story. That one too. Even I got a school in Scotland, but then the fees was too much. I think the guy told my friend and I that, oh, we can only pay £1,000 and then we will come. And then when we come in, like when we come here, we can work. And then, but when we got this, it wasn't like that. You're actually going to pay £1,000 first. And then before you move to your country, to the UK, you have to pay, I think, 4 or 5. I'm like, that's not what you told us, you know? So it was back and forth like that. And then I left that one. So I tried all these things before I heard about the global talent visa. I'm like, okay, this one is mine. This one is my own. So at least I can give it my all. Yes. So that's how come I did the global talent visa thing. Yeah.
When you heard about the global talent visa, after you heard about it, and so what was the first thing that you were thinking about doing as a fashion designer?
So when I heard about the global talent visa, in fact, I thought I couldn't do it. So I went on the website. I kept on reading about the requirements. I'm like, what is this? It was everywhere. I just couldn't understand anything. So I have this good friend of mine, Yvonne. I kept on bothering her because she's very intelligent. She was a customer and then we became very good friends. She's very, very intelligent. So whenever anything is bothering me, I go to her. So I kept on reading and I didn't understand. So I did the screenshots and I sent it to her. Yvonne, read and explain this to me because I don't get it. So she came to my shop. We went through together and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to get? Because in the criteria, there's this part where you have to get a UK recommendation. And I'm like, I'm a small business in Ghana. How am I going to get a recommendation in the UK? So I'm like, no, I'm not sure I can do this thing. So I went to my mom's place. My mom lives around where I live with my husband. So we normally go there on Sundays. And so because they knew I was desperate, I wanted to leave Ghana so bad. So I told my elder sister, this is what I've found. But then in the criteria they're saying I need a UK recommendation. And I don't know anybody in the UK who is a fashion. How do I do this? So my elder sister kept on saying that, try. You never know. Just start from somewhere. That's my elder sister. She was the one that encouraged me to actually do this. Because I kept on saying, I'm not sure I can do this. And she said, you never know, try. You just start doing the things, the other stuff. And then you never know what can come up. Then I said, okay, so that's how come I decided to give it a try. And so I listed everything that I needed down and I took it one at a time. Yes, that's what I did.
Wow. So you started, it was very important for you to, I think that's one thing with global talent. You can't do global talent without sitting to read the guidelines.
No, you can't at all. I still have people in my DMs, they don't understand anything. And I can understand them. Like, they don't understand it. And it is true, because when you go there and you read, you think it's something simple. No, a lot goes into it. You see, you're like, oh, I can, no. Unless you take your time and then read again, you find out that no, it's not as easy as you may see it. It is not. Yeah. You really have to take your time and read and get it well before you go ahead.
Wow. So if somebody is thinking about global talent visa now for the fashion design, what should they be thinking about?
Everything. I mean, everything on the list. You need to, because I know somebody who got rejected recently because his recommendation letter was not signed. So everything, you just have to be intentional. I always say this, you have to be intentional about this. If you really want to do this, and there are some people who also want to do this very quickly. No, mine took about 6 months or so. It took 6 months. I took my time and did everything. That's what I said earlier on. I listed everything that I needed on a list. That's what I do. That's how I do my things though. I list everything down and then I tackle them one after the other. So if I'm able to get, let's say, number 2, I take it. I know I'm done with that one. If I'm able to do, let's say, number 5, then I know I'm actually moving forward. So I can say everything on the list is very, very important. I can't take one and then leave the other. They are all very important. So you just have to read and understand it very well. If you don't really understand, let somebody also go through and read it very well, understand, and then explain it to you. Then you can take it from there. Yeah.
Okay. So what's the requirement for getting a global talent visa as a fashion designer?
So the requirement is you need 3 letters of recommendation. Okay, from people who are experts in your field. That's the fashion category. So you need 3 recommendation letters from these people, and then you need 10 pieces of evidence as well. So some people also think that the recommendation letters are like part of the evidences. No, it is different. So three recommendation letters and then 10 pieces of evidence that shows proof that you've been doing this fashion business. So in all, you need 13 documents to be able to do this global talent thing. And so aside the 3 recommendation letters, you need a media recognition, you need industry recognition, and you also need proof of sales. So you can work around these things I've mentioned to get your 10 pieces of evidence. So that's what I did. Yes.
Okay. So your 10 pieces of evidence can either be media recognition.
No, it can't either be that. I mean, the 10 pieces of evidence, assuming you are doing media recognition, you can choose to do, let's say, 3 or 4 media recognition. Okay. And then you can do, let's say, 3 industry. And then you do 3 proof of sales. And so in all, you get your 10 pieces of evidence. Do you get it?
Oh, okay. Yes,
that's what I did. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So the 3 recommendation letters, where are they supposed to come from?
They have to come from people who are experts in your field. Okay, people who are well known. If I say well known, like not necessarily well known, but who are experts, okay, in your field. And then normally, so they also want people that the moment they Google their name, something pops up. You understand? Maybe there's an article about them, saying stuff, their portfolio and stuff like that. These are all the things that they also look out for. So if I say 3 pieces of recommendation letters, they need it from people who are experts in your field. So in your field of fashion, not anybody at all. Me, for instance, if you come to me and you tell me to give you a recommendation letter, I'm not qualified to give you, because recently a guy sent an email and then he was telling me that he was rejected recently because, and then the reason was because they don't think that the lady that gave him the recommendation qualifies to give him. And when I actually Googled this lady's profile, she was good. I mean, she had a lot of things that came up. She's in the UK here. You understand? So I was actually surprised. They said she doesn't qualify. So I don't really know. But then to me, I think they need people who are experts in your field to give you that recommendation. And that lady that gave him the recommendation, I think, was somebody that qualified. But then they said, no, they refused him anyway. So I don't really know.
Yeah. So when you talk about recommendation, is that going to be recommendations from your home country and international, or what does the guidelines say?
Okay, so during my time, during 2022, that I heard about the global talent visa. After that time, if you're applying as an exceptional promise, you need 2 letters of recommendation from your home country, and then the one has to be here. But then recently, I found out that they've actually cancelled that. You can actually get your letters from anywhere. So assuming you're in Ghana or Nigeria, it is possible for you to get all the 3 in Nigeria or Ghana. You don't really have to get the one from the UK anymore. That is what I read on the Arts Council page or something like that. Yes, that one is not on the gov.uk website. It is on the Arts Council. That's where I saw it. That if you're now applying as an exceptional promise, you don't need all the 3 letters or the 1 letter from the UK as it used to be. You can get all the 3 letters from your home country. So wherever you are, you can get all the 3 letters from there. But then at first, it was compulsory for you to get 1 from the UK. But it is not like that anymore. So I think it's okay now. Yeah, that was the most difficult part of all of the requirements. So, I mean, that's not what it is anymore. Yeah.
So I think it's very important, basically, to read the guideline, isn't it? It's like the Bible of...
Yes, you really have to. So you can get everything as they are saying. I said that initially. You have to read and understand. I kept on reading that thing. I read and read and read. I was still not getting certain things until I made my friend also go through, and then we explained everything together. Yeah.
It's just so important to read the guideline, especially
Yeah.
that even beyond now, whenever you're watching this video, whatever year, we're going to put the guideline link in the description
Yes.
section, because it
Yes.
gets updated every now and then, isn't it?
That's the thing. Yes.
So today we're talking with Maame. She came to the UK with the global talent through the fashion designers route.
Yeah.
I got the global talent through the Royal Society, which comes under the research or academic route. We've also interviewed Andrew, who went through the technician route. We also interviewed Dr. Sam, who went through, the research route. He was endorsed by, I think, the Royal College of Engineering or so. We've also interviewed Marilyn, who is also a global talent coach, who went through the technician. So each of these endorsing bodies now have their own guideline, their own criteria. But if you go to the gov.uk website, you will always have just, an overview of everything. So that would make it easier then, I guess, if you can get your recommendation letter from anybody at all, from anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be
not like my time. Yes, not like during 2022 where you had to get one from the UK. But then now you can get all the 3 letters from, let's say, Ghana or Nigeria or Zimbabwe or wherever you are. You don't really have to get all the letters in the UK. I mean, you don't have to get just the one in the UK. Yeah.
But from what you're saying now, it means these people have to be prominent as well. Because if someone was rejected because...
No, even after my time, they were still supposed to be. I mean, you still have to get somebody who is expert in your field. And obviously, I didn't just go for anybody at all. Those that gave me these recommendation letters are people that were or are experts in their field, like in this kind of field. Do you understand? Because mine, for instance, I went to a fashion school. And so it was my fashion school that gave me a letter of recommendation, and that's a big deal. And then my other letter also came from a celebrity in Ghana who, he's well known. He's a fashion designer. People know him, and then whenever you type his name there, you see a lot of things come up, and these are the things they want to see. You understand? So and then I got one from here as well. She's also a fashion designer. She owns a very big boutique. So you have to actually get people who are experts. That hasn't changed at all. You have to get people who are experts in your field till to date. So just like I told you, somebody has been denied because they feel like that person does not qualify to give him a recommendation. But when I did my research, I thought that this lady, is doing well and stuff like that. But I don't know what they are looking for or what they saw, but they are saying she does not qualify. I don't know why. Yeah, it's sad.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you're going for recommendation letters, make sure that you're going for someone prominent, someone that is known, someone that is an expert in fashion design.
Very important.
So now that we know the requirements, Maya, can you tell us what are the different categories under the global talent for the fashion designers route?
Okay. Yeah. So with the fashion pathway, we have just 2 categories. We have the exceptional talent, and then we have the exceptional promise. So if you're applying as an exceptional talent, it means that your pathway is going to be the 3 years pathway. It means that after 3 years, you're going to get after 3 years, you apply for your ILR. But then if you're applying as an exceptional promise, it means your pathway is 5 years. Then after 5 years, you can apply for your ILR. Now, when you're applying for the 5 years pathway, I know there are a lot of people who normally think about the NHS fees because now it's expensive. As at that time, it wasn't really that much, but now it's about 1,030 something.
35.
So I don't 35 exactly. So imagine exactly. So imagine if you're applying for the exceptional promise for 5 years, it means you have to multiply that by 5. And then if your family is about 3 or 4, the same for all of them. That's very huge. You understand? But it's not compulsory for you to pay all the 5 years at once. You can just do 3 years after 3 years, and then you extend it until you get your ILR. I don't know if you get it. You understand? So instead of paying all the 5 years at once, if you have the money, then it's fine. You can just pay for all the 5 years, the same for your wife or your husband. And then if you have children, that's the same for them as well. But if you think that is too much and you You can always do 2 years or 3 years. When you come in after 2 or 3 years, you can always extend it. Yes, you also
Okay.
have to make sure that you have been in the fashion business from 1 to 5 years. So it should be within. So if you know you've been in the business for more than 5 years, you do not qualify. So it should be from 1 to 5 years within, maybe 2 years, 3 years, or 4. It has to be within 5 years. It doesn't have to be more than that.
So did you apply as a exceptional promise or as an exceptional talent?
I went for the exceptional promise. No wahala. I don't want any wahala. So I went for the. But the thing is, even if you should go for the exceptional talent, and they feel like, I think when they go through your documents and they feel that you don't deserve or you are not qualified for the exceptional talent, but then you've been able to meet the criteria, they can always write back to you and tell you that when they went through your documents, even though you don't meet exceptional talent, they have given you exceptional promise. And then when you apply for the promise too, and they feel like you deserve the talent, they give it to you. So that's how it works.
Yeah, I've heard different stories about that. So they usually
Exactly.
step
Yes.
people up or they step you
Exactly.
down. But to be
Yeah.
honest, whether promise or talent, they don't ask anybody as long as you have a visa.
That's it. That's all we are fighting for. That
That's
is all
all
you
you need.
want. That's all you want. Whether 3 years or 5 years, you are
Yes,
still going
that's
to
all
get your
you want.
ILR. But with the ILR, you just have to make sure that you are still in business. You can't come here and then abandon your business and be doing other things. And then after 5 years or 3 years, you go and say you're going to apply for your ILR. They are definitely going to check and make sure if you are still in business. So please don't forget, guys, if you are applying for the exceptional talent or promise and you come in here, make sure you are still doing what brought you here. If you came
Yes.
in here with a technician or fashion or whatsoever it is, make sure you are still in business. You are still doing it aside you doing other stuff. Because after 5 years or 3 years, if you're going to apply, they will need evidence. Okay, you will need to show proof of evidence that you have been in business before you
Yes.
can qualify to get the ILR. So it's not like because 5 years this year, I'm going to get my ILR. They won't give it to you like that. They will check and
Yes.
make sure that you're in business. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's walk through your evidences. How did you go about getting your evidence? Tell us, tell us, tell us. Like I said, we're going to get everything from you because at the end of this video, I think I want the whole of Ghana, all the fashion designer around the world. I want them to come to the UK and come and showcase their talent because that's what global talent is all about. That is
It's all
why
about, yeah.
this
So,
visa was created.
mhm. So just like I mentioned earlier on, so assuming you're trying to get your 10 pieces of evidence. So this is what I did. I got, I think, 4 media recognition. I did 3 industry recognition and I did 3 proof of sales. So now with the media recognition, all you have to do is to get bloggers or newspapers or magazines to write about your brand. It has got nothing to do with yourself, but your brand. They are not writing anything about you, but your brand. You understand? So it could be when you started your business. It could be the fact that you've actually gone for a fashion show, anything at all about the brand. So you can work around these things, you get it, and then do 4 media recognition based on what I've just said. So whatever they're writing about you should be about your brand, about a fashion show that you've done, about when maybe you started, or if you have any new collection coming up. So this can be your media recognition. So you can do around 4. I mean, about 4 of them. Okay, so you can be a newspaper, a magazine, and then you know these bloggers too. They can also blog about your brand. You understand? So you get 4. And then when you're doing industry recognition, this is when you need
Sorry,
somebody who is in
before you move to industry recognition. So for the media recognition, can you like do a show by yourself and then it will be
Yes.
covered? Does that count
Yes.
as okay?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
With mine, for instance, with mine, one of my articles that the blogger did for me was the fact that I was part of a fashion show. I didn't do the fashion show myself. I was my school, my former, like my fashion school. That was they organized this fashion show for their students. So I had to join them in order to get the bloggers cover it for me, so I can get an article out of it. So I joined them to do that kind of fashion show, and then through that I got my photos and I got the blogger to also blog about it. Jana, so you don't really have to do it yourself. You can find out if there's a fashion show going on or an exhibition or something, and then through that you can use that as an article. Do you understand?
Okay, yeah.
So that's what I did. So that's what I did. So you don't really have to do the fashion show yourself. It will be expensive. If you have money, then that's fine. You can actually do a fashion show by yourself and then get your article out. But if you don't, you can just research and find out what fashion shows are going on within where you are, and then you can just go and pay and then participate. Through that, you get your photos, you get bloggers to blog about it, and then you get your media recognition. Yes.
Okay. But that would
So
be
that's what
just
I
one.
So that would be just one. So that's for the fashion. So that would be just one. And then the other one can be the fact that maybe you have a new collection. You know, fashion designers, sometimes we come up with collections and then you wear them, or you make a model wear them, you do photo shoots, and then you name the collection. So this one, so you can pay a blogger to blog about your new collection coming up. So that's what I mentioned earlier on. I don't know if you get it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
can be
I
two.
get it.
Yeah, so that can be two. And then you can also get a blogger to interview you, ask you questions about how your brand started, and things like that. And then they can use that in the form of a story and then publish it. You get it.
Wow.
So you can,
Okay.
so I mean, you
Right.
can get forward with that, and then now you can move on to the industry recognition, where you need people in the industry to also write a letter to say, oh, I recognize your brand. So with that one, it can be a fashion designers, an actor, an actress, even those who do shoes, like shoemakers, those who are like writers. All these people are considered to be in the arts and culture industry, but people don't really know. It is very broad. Okay, so you can get all these people to write a letter for you. Obviously, you can't just go to, let's say, Miss Johnson and say, please write a letter for me. You should make sure that you've actually made a dress for this person. So if I'm going to Dakabia, or if I'm going to tell her to get me or write a letter of recommendation for, a recognition for me, you should make sure that you've actually made a dress for this person before. Because if the person has not worn your dress, you can't just say she should write a letter for you. But then if they've actually wore it, then they can go all out and say, oh, okay, I know, let's say Maame Yaa Tutu, she's good at what she does. She's been styling me for the past 2 years, and so I recognize her brand. That's what they want to see. So you have to get 3 people in this field to write that kind of letter for you. During my time, there was nothing like they tagging you, but then those who have applied recently are saying that they got rejected because they said those who actually wrote the letters for them are supposed to tag them in their social media handles. During my time, it wasn't like that. All you need was a letter, and then you are good to go. But then now, assuming Miss Johnson gives you a recognition letter, she's also supposed to tag you. Or assuming you made a dress for her, she has to wear the dress and then tag your social media handle to prove that it is true you made a dress for Miss Johnson. So that's how things are getting at right now. Yes. So you need 3 industry recognition letters to say that they know you, they know your brand, you've been making dresses for them and stuff like that. You can also get, let's say, a TV presenter or a radio presenter to also get you this letter. You should also make sure you've made dresses for these people, so they can say, okay, Maame Yaa Tutu has been styling me or have been making dresses for me for my radio show for the past 5 years or 4 years. You get it? So I recognize their brand, so I believe you should endorse it. That's it. And then you attach the photo of you in the letter. It's not just the letter. As for that one, anybody at all can just wake up and write anything. So you have to make sure that you are in the dress that it made for you. Attached to, it shows that you actually, you are putting in your all. Don't just go and submit a letter. As for that one, anybody at all can do it. So if you really want your documents to be, you want application to go well for you, then it means that you are supposed to attach the photos of them in your brand or something to the letters. And then that is it. And then now with the proof of sales, you need it from, let's say, your website. You need proof of sale from your website, and there may be a stockist deal as well. So I did 1 website and then 2 stockist deal. Getting a website is not compulsory, but I just feel like if you have a website, it shows that you are credible. You understand? You're a serious person. You get it? So you have to have, so far as you are, you are a business person, you really have to get a website. Something small, and then you can just do a screenshot of the transactions that are going on there. You understand? Like you can use that one too as your proof of sales that shows that people are actually buying from you. You also need a stockist deal, but then the stockist deal has to be here. One has to come from here. That's the issue now. You really need a stockist deal in the UK. It is part of the criteria. You have to get 1 stockist deal in the UK. So you need a boutique or something to stock your things, and then through that you get a letter to show that you've been able to get a stockist deal in the UK. You understand? And then maybe 1 stockist deal can come from anywhere at all, or maybe your home country. And so you have to you add it to all of these things to make it 10 pieces of evidence. And then you add it to your 3 letters of recommendation, and then that's it.
And then you go and pray. And
Then you go and pray, and then you do your submission, and then you leave everything to God. Saying it
the
sounds very easy, but it is not. So just like I told you, it took 6 months for me to put all of these things together. Yeah, saying
mm,
it sounds like it's very easy. Oh, I can know.
yeah,
You really have to
yeah.
take your time because it's about money. Yeah, you have to take
Mm,
your time and then put all of these things together. If not, you go and submit, and then you might be rejected. So you take your time
mm,
and put everything together, go through them, correct everything that you are supposed to correct, and then if you think everything is okay, you've gone through it, you've made a friend or somebody go through everything, and you think it's fine. I mean, you're good to go to just submit, and then now you wait for 8 weeks. They normally tell you to give them 1 to 8 weeks to get back to you. I'm sure you know what I'm saying. And so it doesn't
yeah.
really mean
Mm,
it will take the exact 8 weeks because mine came out on the fourth week. Yes,
mm.
mine came out on the fourth week. Yeah, week 4.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's good. So what we
yeah.
need is 3 recommendation letters and 10 pieces of evidence,
Of
and
evidence.
then you
Yeah.
submit 4 endorsements. And then after you get endorsed, then you can now apply for the second
All you
stage.
need, yes, all you need is a letter saying that, oh, you've been endorsed, or the Arts Council
I
have
know.
decided.
That how did you feel when
Yeah.
you received your
Oh my
letter?
God, you have no idea. At a point, every morning I kept on checking my email, and then my heart would be beating every morning. I'll go there and I want to check and see if I'll get any letter from the Home Office. Nothing. Every morning. So this my friend Yvonne, she was the one that told me that, what, they've told you 1 to 8, so I think you should wait and then check on the 7th week. I said, why should I wait and check on the 7th week? What if there has been a response? I mean, I'll be here for 7. No, I'll be checking. Later, I decided to cool down. So every morning I was checking my email. At a point, I stopped because it wasn't really helping. So on the 4th week, I heard my mother told me my brother was going to travel. And after that time, I had used all my money for this process. And I knew if I should get this thing, NHS and other things, I'm broke. So when I heard my brother was going to travel, I was like, hey, then let me just quickly go and check if I've gotten an email from them before my brother vanishes, because if he goes, it means I would have to wait for him. So one morning, I was born on a Thursday. So I said, okay. So I think that was on Monday. I said, I will check my email, but I'm only going to do that on Thursday. Not any other day, but on Thursday. So one morning, my husband had gone to the gym. And you know what? Even though my mom and my sister and my husband knew I was doing this thing, the day I applied, nobody knew. The day I did the application, I did it by myself. I didn't want anybody, because I didn't want a situation where they'll keep on asking you, how far? Have you heard anything? I don't want that. So I did the application without telling anybody, even though they knew I was doing something like they didn't know I had applied. So that particular morning that I wanted to check the outcome of it, my husband had gone to the gym. And then, just like I said, I wanted to wait on Thursday. So on Thursday, he wasn't around. He had gone to the gym. And then I was inside. I was like, okay, fine. Let me just gather some vim and then check my email. Because I think I stopped checking my email for like 2 weeks. So I said, okay, let me check this time. Let me just gather some courage and then check. So the moment I went on my email, I saw Home Office. I threw the phone on my bed and I was just jumping. I didn't even know what was in there, but I don't know. I was so scared. My heart was beating. I threw the phone on my bed and I quickly had to go slowly and then take my phone again. And then I opened the email. I didn't even start reading the email from the top. I was just looking for something. Maybe you have been successful, or I didn't start reading from the top. No. I was at the middle checking something. And then I saw that they said, Arts Council has advised the Home Office that you meet its kind. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even finish reading it. I threw the phone somewhere. I was jumping. You have no idea. You have no idea. After I jumped for a while, I took my phone again and I took my time. This time around, I took my time and I read the whole letter saying that Arts Council has advised the Home Office that I missed the criteria. I'm like, oh my God. So I called my husband and I told him to come home right now. My stomach, I'm not feeling well, And then he also rushed and he came home. When he came, he saw me sitting down there. He's like, what's wrong with you? I thought you said you're not well. I said, yeah, I'm not feeling well. Check something. I had written it on a piece of paper on the bed. And because he didn't know I had applied, he was confused. He was like, what is this? And I said, I have been endorsed by the Home Office. He was confused. You've been endorsed by the Home Office. What is that? And I said, I have done an application. I got it. He was like, what? And then he took a towel and he was just, was so happy singing. And so that's how
Oh,
I got my yes. I was so happy. I was so, so,
oh,
so happy. It was like
wow,
yesterday.
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. So, what were the challenges you faced when you arrived here as an immigrant?
I think because, okay. So, with the skilled working visa, like the nurses and then the care assistants, because they normally come here with their jobs ready. So it makes things quite easier for them. Because the moment you get here, your job
Mm,
is already there waiting for you to just start. But then with the global talent visa, because it's not restricted, you can actually work, you can go to school, you can still be in your business. So it means that you have to settle and then find something to do. And sometimes you might not really want the exact thing that you are doing, but then because you have bills to pay and stuff like that, you have to settle for anything at all until you find your feet. So I think that was the challenge that we faced, because you had to
mm,
imagine I'm a fashion designer, but because I just moved in here, I don't know anybody, you don't have any clients. It means you have to, get something doing before you can actually settle well. So I ended up doing a housekeeping job, and it wasn't a joke. I stopped. I quit in 6 days. I couldn't. My back was breaking. I couldn't even bend. Like, I don't know how to describe it. That experience was bad. Those who are doing
mm.
that kind of job, no disrespect, but I'm not that strong to do that. So it's about the career path when you come in here with the global talent. And unless, of course, you're a very big brand that your clients will still follow you here and still will be ordering wherever you are, then that's fine. But then if you're not, or you don't really have that huge client base, it means that you really have to start selling
From
yourself again
scratch.
to gather that kind of thing is, and then find maybe a normal, decent job to do until you find your feet. Or maybe you try and then go the tech way, maybe do courses, and whilst you still do your fashion on the side. Yeah, so
Mm,
career path has been very challenging. Yeah,
mm, mm. So, how have you been adapting then?
we are managing. You're
Thank
managing,
God.
because I'm still
Thank God.
sewing though. I'm still sewing on my website. I'm still sewing. I put them on my website. I think that's very easy to do, because that one is on your website. I'm trying to also get an account on Amazon so that I can also put some dresses there and then sell as well. So aside Instagram is very slow for me. I know it works for a lot of people, but for me, I think Instagram is very slow. So I'm trying to channel my marketing strategy on Amazon as well. So I want to get an account and then start focusing on that side more, whilst maybe I do other things. Yeah, because I'm here because of fashion, so I really have to take that serious. So yeah, that's what I want to do, and maybe other platforms as well.
Awesome. Go and find Maame Yaa J. She's Maame Yaa J on Instagram so that you can support her business. Because that's one
Yeah,
thing with the Global Talent Visa. You come to the UK, you are free. It
you
just
are
says
free.
yes.
You are
Come
free. You're not stuck
and
with any employer. No, not at all.
yes,
That's the beautiful part of being on global talent visa. You are not stuck
yes,
with any employer. You can go to school. You can change jobs. You can do whatever. So far as you are still doing what brought you here, you
yes,
understand. Value that
yes.
you still have to be in business. Do what brought you here, and then aside that, you are good to do whatever you want to do.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, but let's say, should we call it the disadvantage side of it, which is the
Mm-hmm.
challenge that you're going to face as soon
Mm-hmm.
as you arrive the UK,
Yes.
is that
Yes.
for a fashion designer, you need to start finding clients. You
Exactly.
need to be ready to build again. That's what it
Again,
means. So as much as,
you
yeah,
need to be ready to build again.
we're encouraging you to apply for the Global Talent Visa, explore it. It's for everyone. Come to the UK. The idea of this visa is for you to come and actually make your own money in the UK to boost the
Yeah,
UK economy. That's the
yeah,
whole idea behind the Global Talent Visa. So you must
exactly.
be someone that is ready to do that. Wow,
Yeah,
it's
then just
so,
like I
so
mentioned,
good.
unless your brand is very big, and then your clients will still want to follow you. Because imagine if I'm here and I'm making a dress for somebody in Ghana, it means that I would have to post it through DHL or whatsoever. Right, it's very expensive. Recently, I made a dress for a client in Ghana, and then through DHL, I paid about 600 and something sending the dress to her in Ghana. It's not worth it. So you just have to make sure you are building a new client here. You understand? Because if not, posting, sending, I mean, we'll take all the money. So yeah.
So tell us, Maame Yaa or Maya. I will go with Maya. That saves me a lot
I think so. I think you will go with Maya because that's very easy.
So yeah, Maya, tell us, what advice do you have for immigrants in the UK? People who are in the UK already. I know you've just been here for 1 year, so you're going to tell us what advice you have for people that want to apply for Global Talent Visa, who are fashion designers like you, who are in their home country now watching this video.
Yeah, I think it is doable. That's all I can say. It is doable. It's something you can do, and you just have to be intentional about it. If I have been able to do it, it means that you can also do it. And one thing that people normally forget is they normally think that these kind of visas are for people who have bigger brands and stuff like that. It has got nothing to do with that. Meet the criteria and that's it. It has got nothing to do with you having a big brand or whatsoever. Believe me, if you're a big brand and then you don't do your homeworks well, and then you submit anything at all, you won't get it. But then somebody who has a smaller brand will take their time, put everything together, and might get it. You understand? So it has got nothing to do with the fact that you have a bigger brand than the other. All you have to do is to be intentional about it and make sure you meet what they're asking for. And that's all. So be intentional. It is doable. Take your time. You don't really have to rush. It took me 6 months. It can take somebody just 2 weeks or 2 months. It depends. But there's no rush at all. Take your time, put everything together because it's about money. When you're applying, I think it's about 500 and something. I don't really, during 2023, it was 400. It has gone up.
Yeah, it's 716 now.
Talking about just the endorsement. So just the endorsement.
Yeah, just the endorsement is, I think it's 524 or something. I've got a video on
it. Yes,
so
yes. Just the endorsement is 524 also. Yes. Yes. So you wouldn't want a station where you just submit and then you might not get it. It means that 524 is gone. And remember, you're in Africa. That money is expensive. It's a lot of money. So you don't want a situation where you just want to do anything anyhow, go and apply, and then you'll be rejected. So just take your time and make sure you're getting it once and for all. You understand? So it is doable. Be intentional. Take your time. And if I've been able to do it, you can also do it. It doesn't matter if your brand is big or small. So far as you're intentional about it and you take your time and you make sure you're meeting the criteria or you meet the requirements you're looking out for, you will get it. Yeah.
You will get it. You can do it. It's doable. Yes. It doesn't matter whether your brand is big or small. You know? Yeah. It's been so wonderful today hosting Maya here on Immigrant Voices and Victories. I'm hoping that her story and her journey has inspired you to apply for your own Global Talent Visa. She used the promised routes for the Global Talent Visa as a fashion designer. And I am so, excited that she was able to share in this interview that she's a small business. She has a small brand, but what God can do for us, it doesn't matter whether you're big or small. It's about that. You get that favor. And with Global Talent Visa, it is either you have the criteria, you have the evidence, or nothing. Yes.
Exactly. It doesn't matter if you're a big brand. If you're not able to meet the criteria, you won't get it.
You won't get it. So remember, take home from this interview is get your evidences right, get your recommendation. She's broken down everything we need to know. If I were you, I will start my application now and watch this video and take notes because she's giving us everything she has done. Thank you so much, Maya, for coming on board on Immigrant Voices and Victories. Please go and follow her. Her brand is Maya J on Instagram, and she's also a Global Talent Visa coach. Maame Yaa Tutu for the coaching site. You will find every information you need about her in the description section. Especially, please support her business, support her brand in the UK. If you are anywhere in the UK, go and find her website, place order. So I really love this interview and I've enjoyed myself so much. Thank you so much for coming on board Immigrant Voices and Victories, where we share the personal journeys of people, who have come to the UK who have made their marks in one way or the other in their career or whatever they choose to do. So thank you so much, Maya Medase, for coming on
Yeah, that's it.
Immigrant Voices and Victories today. We've had a lovely, lovely time. Thank you so much for your kind heart. I actually met her
You're
on
welcome.
YouTube when I saw her
Yeah.
video about the global talent, and I went to find her on Instagram and she responded, you know. So if you're out there and you would like to share your story with us on Immigrant Voices and Victories to inspire other people, why not send us an email on immigrantvoicesandvictories@gmail.com, and we will be glad to share your story with the world. Thank you so much, Omedase,
That's
and
it.
we'll see you next time on Immigrant Voices and Victories. H-Rail, no limit. God bless you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.